Yes.
Thank you, Dan. All right. My name is Griffin, and let me address the elephant in the room. I am a liberal. Now, this should not affect how I feel towards any of you guys and how you feel towards me. Brianna, I know you very well. We're in comparative anatomy. I like you. You're a cool girl. Dan, who's kindly videotaping, even though you cheat at Monopoly, you're a smart man, and I respect that. I don't think any of you are stupid for thinking the way you do. We just happen to disagree with each other. And that happens from time to time. I'm not here to convince you guys to believe what I believe. I'm just here to offer mutual conclusions. This is a lighthearted speech with no hostilities. I want to cut tensions in half here because I can feel blood boiling and I don't want that to happen. Now, in the outline I said, you're probably wondering what I'm speaking about here. I'm speaking about gun control laws. I told you I'm speaking about gun rights. I'm speaking about gun control. The first thing I want to address, I'm not for taking your guns away. I don't want to do that. I'm not gonna go into your houses and take your protection because I know how people value that in their lives. I think we should be able to restrict those who can get it. This doesn't mean this applies to you guys. This doesn't mean this applies to the average American. Background checks do not apply to you. I mean, they apply to everyone, but they don't apply to you unless you're, criminally insane or you have a terrible, violent criminal record. I don't think any of you guys have that. All of you guys are, able to get a gun license. This doesn't mean background checks just funnel in the safer people that get the guns. So why should broader background checks even be an issue? If this doesn't apply to the average American, why should we want people that are criminally insane and have a violent record to be able to get guns? It doesn't make sense to me. It may make sense to you guys. The problem here is as soon as someone mentions the idea of members of the opposite side, like I'm a liberal, you're a Republican, immediately we go up in arms and we refuse each other, we bicker, and it doesn't make sense. Why should we do this? We can't let political affiliations get in the way of compromise. It's the greatest skill we have as a human being to be able to compromise and get to solutions that are mutually beneficial. Rather than refuse each other, we should suggest things that help each other out. And that is what I'm speaking about here. Now, personally, I don't get the allure behind guns. You guys might. I'm not a huge gun man. I might be a girl because of it, but no offense to the ladies in the room, you guys may like your guns. I might be, masculine because of it, but I don't get the allure behind guns. I don't think that I don't hunt. I don't like to kill. It's just not me. But there are definitely fanatics out there who like their guns, and they attend gun shows. 60% of all gun transactions occur at a gun show. I don't know if you guys understand that statistic because gun shows, they're not licensed sellers selling the guns. They're not licensed sellers, and they don't have background checks on anyone who goes. Even the background checks that are in place today, they don't happen at gun shows. I don't know if any of you guys have ever attended one. I haven't personally. I've just read up on it. But it's just a place where criminals and real rednecks like to go and get guns. No problems with rednecks here, guys. It's just the problem that you have to have a vending license to be able to sell food on the side of a street. Why shouldn't you have a license to be able to sell a gun at a gun show? It doesn't make sense to me. We don't have to get rid of the gun shows. Gun shows are great for people who are rednecks and criminals, or people who love their guns. Sorry if I'm offending anyone. Rather, we should regulate them. I know that term conservatives tend to not like, but we should enforce federally vending licenses and make sure everything that goes on at a gun show is legal. We don't have to worry about who's purchasing a gun at a gun show. So we should require vendors to have license, and we should apply the real world laws to the vigilante practices that occur here. Again, I don't mean to offend people who here love guns, because, again, I don't like guns, but you guys may. Now, for the more morbid part of the speech, safety. There's two sides to this argument with conservatives and liberals. We can argue all we want on what causes violence. It could be a human who has a gun, it could be a human who has fists, it could be a human who has a knife. Regardless, guns, they're violent, and there's no arguing that. They kill. They're not designed to go to bed with. They're not designed to go to a picnic with. They're designed for killing. Again, I don't understand the point behind killing animals, people, whatever. So, what is the purpose of this? Exactly, this. We don't need that in our lives. That's legal here. Why, I mean, I understand the need for immediate protection. That makes total sense to me. But we live in the safest city in America. We live in Franklin, Mass. I don't walk down the street worried for my lives and needing to carry this. I mean, I'm a big man. Maybe my views are because I'm a big man. I'm walking down the safest city in America. I don't personally need a gun. But if you're a small person incapable of defending themselves in the city, I can understand the need for a handgun or a pistol, but not this, not that. That is just, you even hunt with that. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So, basically, in conclusion, what I want to take away from this speech today, there are two things. Gun control does not mean to remove them from society. It just means to place more regulations on who has guns, how they have them. It makes safety on the forefront of guns, which is what I think needs to happen because guns are such a violent thing. Also, I want to take away today that I don't want our political affiliations to get in the way of each other. I don't want you guys to go away from this meeting hating me, wanting to shoot me with a handgun. But we should be able to compromise with each other. We should be able to have a mature talk. We're in a high school. We should be able to talk to each other rather than yell and let our emotions and political affiliations get in the way. I shouldn't have to avoid Dan in the halls because he likes guns. It doesn't make sense to me. Constitutionality, you can't talk about guns without constitutionality. Debate all you want, but times have changed. I know you guys are all for following the Constitution strictly, but look at the 18th and 21st Amendments. Let me refresh your memory. We went through a prohibition in the 18th century. 20th century, sorry. We went through a prohibition. We thought it would be the best in the best interest of the nation if we established an amendment against drinking. Later on, the 21st Amendment came, and a little embarrassment came along with it. We repealed the Prohibition Amendment. And basically, if you look at those two amendments and apply them to the Constitution, you realize that we're only human. Like, we don't do every, like, even the forefathers didn't draft the Constitution with everything being perfect. It's also, the right to bear arms is too broad to interpret strictly. It doesn't, but I saw a Family Guy episode once, and it was the right to bear arms. It was, everyone should be allowed the right to a pair of bear arms. Literally, they held up a pair of bear arms. It was funny, I laughed really hard. In conclusion, gun rights, as I said, don't remove them from society, and don't let your political affiliations get in the way of hating me. I want to thank you guys for listening to me. I want to thank you guys for being mature and not lashing out at me while I'm speaking. I see scowls on some faces, but that's okay. I also want to thank Dan Roberts for a couple of things, for allowing me to speak today, because he was my main connection here, for videotaping, and not for cheating in Monopoly. That really wasn't cool, man. That's it. Thank you, guys.
The real source of crime is a breakdown of the American family.